let me explain why this makes talking to strangers easier before we get into the video. So, if you don't know, one of the 6 basic human needs is a need for certainty. So, when you see someone that you want to talk to and you don't know them, a couple thoughts will go through your head. Like, especially if you're a guy colding approach a girl, or vice versa, a girl cold approaching a guy. It's, are they gonna like me? What do I say? Do I look good? Are they in a relationship? Like, you're gonna have these questions run through your head because your brain is looking for an answer that you don't have. So in order to make this easier, it is important that if we have something that we can say to anybody, like a canned opener, not a pickup line, but like something that you can say to anybody, that makes approaching somebody or talking to strangers easier because you know that there's always going to be something that you can talk about. So I'm going to give you let me give you a couple different examples in this video so you can take what I say in this and use it word for word if you want. Some of these I use, actually, I think everything I'm going to talk about, because it comes from my head, I've likely used it before and I still do. So what I'm going to tell you will work, or you can just take what I say and make it into your own, because you're going to have a different way of communicating than what I do. I'm very confident. Depending on my mood, I really don't care if someone likes what I have to say or not. I kind of just speak without thinking. I've always been that way. And I mean, I talk to a lot of people, so I can tell you right now, it doesn't matter what you say when it comes to talking to someone new, and especially if it's someone you like romantically, they're either going to like you or not. So keep that in mind, guys. So before we get into the video, this is a new channel. If you like what you see, please give the video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. You're going to help push it into the algorithm and more people can see this. All right. So a couple different ways that we could talk to people. Remember I said we always want to have something that we can say. So if you want to talk to somebody, and like a basic question that a lot of people ask is, what do you do for fun? That's something that like a guy asked to a girl. I know when I used to ask that to girls here in Florida, I get the same answer all of the time. I don't know. I like going to the beach. Oh my God, you and every girl. Which beach do you like going to? Which one's your favorite? So instead of saying that, we want to spice that question up a bit. So you can ask them. So we're assuming that we've already introduced ourselves, because if we already introduced ourselves, the next logical step to have a conversation would be one of you two has to lead the conversation. So if you're a guy talking to a new girl, most of the time, and I say most of the time because there are situations that I've been in when talking to girls where they just start talking and then I can use what they say to continue the conversation. But if you say something like a question, hey, let me ask you something fun. What do you enjoy doing that when you do it, you completely lose track of time? Or hey, when you think of something that makes you really happy, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Or hey, when you're not here at the gym, what do you enjoy doing that when you do it really makes you feel good? Or hey, what have you done recently that when you did it, you felt euphoric? Right? What we're doing here is we're asking questions, but we're tying an emotion onto the end of that question. And the reason why is because their brain has to search for an answer related to that emotion. So if we're talking to strangers, anything you say, if it's a question like that, you always want to make sure it's a positive emotion, because if people associate feeling good with you, they're going to like you more, or they're going to want to talk to you. So these questions, you're eliciting positive emotions. They're going to enjoy talking about that because they're going to look for that feeling. And then from there, they're going to give you an answer, and then you would just go deeper from there. So that is something, is you can always have a question that you can ask. So the way I would word that, and it could be whatever question you want. It could be whatever question. You can either use the one I just gave you, or you can ask whatever question you want. But you would say, hey, can I ask you a really fun question? Or the other one that I'm going to start using, because it creates a little bit of tension, and is going to be, hey, can I ask you an unusual question? Because in their head, they're going to be like, yeah, what do you mean by unusual? They're like, what do you mean? And then you ask them a really fun question. They're like, oh, that's not bad at all. I thought it was going to be bad. That's how that works. So you're playing with their emotions with that one. Okay, so that's the first one, is ask them a question. You just open, hey, can I ask you a fun question? The next one is, and this one's really popular, you ask someone an opinion on something. So I've got, like if there's between like Android and iPhone, you say, hey, can I have your opinion on something? Yeah, what's up? I have an iPhone right now, and I'm thinking of switching over to Android, and I want to know because it looks like you have an Android. What do you think about it? And they're going to tell you, no, that would only work if you know they have an Android. Or I've got Labubu's in front of me. Hey, can I ask your opinion on something? Yeah, what's up? What do you think about this Labubu craze right now? Do you have any? Do you like them at all? And then they're going to give you an answer. And that's the way that you can talk to them, because now we're on the topic of these Labubus. I've got 3 of them right there. Another one would be like clothing. So girls especially love fashion and clothing. Hey, can I have your opinion on something? Yeah, what's up? I see you're wearing this brand. I think it's called Define. I've been seeing this one recently. I see you're wearing the brand Define, and I think that looks incredible on you. I know a lot of girls shop at like Lulu and Amazon. What do you think about that brand? What's your thoughts on that brand? You're asking for their opinion. So you can ask them a question. That's number 1. Or you can ask them an opinion. These are the 2 ways that you can make talking to strangers easier, because either one of these, now with the opinion, now, because with the question, let me rephrase that. With the question, you can always have a specific question in your head. But when it comes to an opinion, that one can be like situational, and that one you might have to come up with like on the fly. Now, I'm sure you can come up with like an opinion that you can ask anybody. I've seen that before. In fact, I've read and heard books that say that you use opinions as an opener, because people love giving their opinion on stuff. People love talking about themselves, and when you ask them about their opinion, they're gonna want to tell you. That's why that one works so well. But with the opinion, if you can find something that you can ask to anybody, then I would do that. I don't think I typically use opinions. I usually, like, if I see a girl, I'll go up, I'll compliment her, I'll ask for her name, and then what I do is I will either ask a question such as, hey, if I knew you better than I do now, because we just met, what's something that I would find out about you that would, I don't know, surprise most people? That's another way that you can make talking to strangers easy, because that's a question that you can ask anybody. You open the conversation. Hey, if I knew you better than I do now, and I just met you, what would I find out about you that most people wouldn't be able to figure out, or that would surprise most people? Because now they're going to have to look for something. When I've asked this question, I had this girl, Paige, I've known her. She said, oh, I really like listening. I went to My Chemical Romance concert. Or people think I'm extroverted, but I'm actually really shy at first. I've had one girl say, oh, I really enjoyed giving birth to both of my kids. Never heard that one before. I had another woman say, oh, I'm an interior designer, or decorator, both. I'm an interior designer. So she told me what she did for work, and that would work, because from an outside perspective, when I asked her that, we were at the gym, you would never know. And so from there, when I asked that question, I got several answers. So that's a really good one that you can use that on a girl, like a guy or a girl you met online, you met them in person. You can ask your friend, hey, so if it's someone you already know, hey, if I knew you better than I do now, or if I knew you better, what would I find out about you that most people wouldn't be able to figure out? Ask that one. Okay. So, one more time. Hey, if I knew you better than I do now, and we just met, what would I find out about you that would surprise most people? And that's really going to be the 2 ways that you can always have something to say to anybody, because you're removing that uncertainty of what do I say? Because one of the hardest things when it comes to talking to someone new is people will say they won't go up and talk to somebody because they just don't know what to say. And when you don't know somebody, you have nothing related. You can't use anything to talk to them. But I just gave you 2 ways. You can ask them a question, or you can use your opinion. Guys, these work so well. Watch this video again and take notes of the questions I asked, and go use those. And you'll see that you'll get phenomenal responses, or you'll always get an answer that will give you something to work with. So if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, man, I will see you in the next one.